Jazz. Report security status.
No sign of the Decepticons here, Prime!
Hello Internet friends, NapYet here. The moment has arrived that I've been waiting for. One of my favourite characters from the G1 lineup, Jazz. He's like Optimus's right-hand man, certainly in the early cartoons he was. You kind of don't think of him being that way because he's kind of a cool character. He's interested in culture, he's interested in Earth's music and stuff. He's like the cool dude, but he has time to do both. He's a reliable soldier as well, and Optimus turns to him when he needs things organising. This is the first time I've bought a Jazz figure since the 80s, and I just love the way this guy looks. He looks fantastic, and I'm kind of really interested to see how because like the basic shape of this character, although it's a lot more articulated, a lot more going on, and yeah, closer to the cartoon than the original toy, the actual form factor is kind of similar, isn't it? Because it has a kind of a logical transformation in a weird way. I don't know how to put it, but there are only so many ways a car like this, when his chest is the front of the car, that it just reminds me of the G1 toy. So yeah, I'm really excited to have a look at this guy. The order that I'm going in is sort of just the stuff that I'm looking forward to the most, and Jazz is the one that I want to dig into next. Lots of people have been watching the unboxings and the various videos, which I really appreciate. Like I say, I'm not new to YouTube. I have a gaming channel, but toy videos are completely new to me, so I'm winging this, absolutely. So when people find the videos and enjoy them, I really appreciate it. Lots of people have been talking and saying hello, much appreciated. Let's have a look at the back first. See if we've actually got any information here. Autobot Jazz makes a futile escape as Unicron devours Moonbase 1. That is one thing that I'm really annoyed that I missed. Big screen inspired scale detail backdrop. I'm glad they put scale first. It's my little pet thing there. So one of the things that apparently, I think the first release, the G1 release, had a 4, and then some other release was 1, and this is like a combination of the two. I do a little bit of research. I try to do a little bit of research on the wiki before I unbox these things. But what was I going to say? Yeah, the fact that I missed Cliffjumper. He came out in the buzzworthy Bumblebee kind of subline before I realized that was something I needed to pay attention to if I was going to be collecting this line. I didn't think it was relevant. I talked about that in another video, and then I realized, oh, they brought out a version of Cup in there that's more accurate, so I need to watch Buzzworthy Bumblebee. But by the time I had done that, realized that, Cliffjumper was absolutely sold out everywhere. So he's already £60 on eBay. I don't fancy paying £60 for one of these deluxe figures. Have I got all the zip ties on my first attempt? That would be a first if I had. Crackling, crackling, crackling. Oh yeah. My new favourite figure. Happens every time. Let me, I'll just get his gun as well. Silver weapon. The original G1 gun was a lot longer. I do remember that. It was a long silver gun. Man, this guy looks good. Really, really good. I'm so happy with this. Even the back kind of looks like the original G1 with all the kibble. You know, the joints on a lot of these, that one criticism I would have of the Studio Series so far is that some of these joints feel a little bit wobbly, like his legs there for some reason. But, you know, generally speaking, they're okay. I did hear that this particular one, he's all white, so you have to worry about discoloration with a white action figure always, and apparently that is one of the things with this version of Jazz, but I certainly can't see any discoloration out of the box, which is not that far-fetched of a thing. You know, I've heard much more experienced Transformers collectors than me say that they've got something out of the box and it's already starting to discolor. But certainly not my version. I mean, you never know when they're going to change the materials of a figure and what's going on with that. Let's have a look at the backdrop. Let's see what's now this. You see, it's the flipping control station where him and Cliffjumper actually send the communications from. I really need Cliffjumper. 60 quid on the secondary market. Damn it. No sign of Decepticons here, Prime. Alright. Let me have a look at Articulation here, because right out of the box, he doesn't seem to have a knee swivel. Let's have a good look here. I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't think his legs... Do they? Do they swivel? There's a little seam there. No, that's... Could be further up. Oh, you see, don't jump to conclusions. There's a little one. All right, his hip is going to move. That's good. We've got something, because without that, we're going to be severely limited. What about his... He's got the knee joint. All right, so that's the range of articulation we've got with the knees. The legs, he's not going to... Actually, they all have really good range of motion there, but obviously he can't go around the back. So we could do that straight away, like that. And do we have a sideways thing on? That's it, the pivot on the feet. That's so important. So we can actually have him doing something slightly dramatic if we really bend his leg. Do that. Obviously can do both, but yeah, that's pretty good. Let's get some dramatic poses there. What about his waist is going to swivel? That's good. Looking good, Jazz. As soon as you bend his legs, though, you got like you can bend there, but then you can also bend there, which is maybe that's cool actually for kneeling and stuff. We'll try and do a kneel in a second. Good range of motion on the head. You can tilt up a little bit. Arms. There. Have we got a wrist swivel? Oh, we don't have a wrist swivel, unfortunately. Okay, let me try and do the kneel. There we go. Like that. If a Transformer can kneel, then they're on the right track for me. He does kneel. Okay, so I feel like this is potentially the fiddliest transformation I've done so far. We'll see how we go. So those up, and then this bit filled me with confidence because the legs are really easy. There we go. And then those down and slot together. That's the easy bit. Now we get fiddly. Oh, there was also a bit here that you can sort of tuck his doors behind for when he's standing. If you don't want his wings coming out. I think sometimes they do, right? Have the gull wings on the doors as kind of shoulder pads, but yeah. Right, those. I can't remember this bit. And the head. We've got to tuck your head away, Jazz, because currently it's just getting in the way. That very easily springs off, and this is the issue. So that's nice and flush there, but once you stop fiddling around on the top, that almost always seems to bow inwards. So We'll see if I can actually do this. This is interesting. So there's a swivel here to make room for the arms. You have to turn that around. It's that way. It was in the instructions and I thought, why is it telling me to turn the waist around? It's not telling you to turn the whole waist, it's telling you to turn a bit of the waist, the silver bit. Alright, and like that. And then the peg's going to face on the outside. You see, you're always applying pressure to the hood when you're trying to do this, and it's pushing that thing down. Alright. Like that. Okay, so before I clip all this in this time, what I want to do ideally is not be applying pressure to that hood if I can help it. So that once it's transformed, because once this is clipped in, you can't push the hood back down. So here we go. That sort of, this sort of goes forward and goes flush to that. Ooh. It might work better after we've put the back in. And then we're going to push. Yeah, I've done it. Screw it. I mean, you have to get some purchase on the toy somewhere, but all right, so push it. I think we'll do best by pushing that into position at the back first and then doing the doors, and they should just like clip into the arms there. So it's sort of there, but I've done it again, you see. I can't get him transformed without doing that. It's a real pain, it just looks stupid. I mean, you can always stick something in and then push it back up, but it's like, you feel like you cheated then. It's not quite worked properly. There we go, clipped in place. A little bit of a fiddly transformation, I feel like, but once it's done, it looks really great. But I have noticed, I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick this up, so there are different types of plastic on different bits, like some are painted and some are not. So this is a slightly different plastic, it's more yellow. Now, is that discoloring or is it just the hue of the plastic? Because two types of white plastic next to one another, whichever is slightly different, darker, is going to look yellowed. So I don't know if it should be like that or it's started yellowing already. There are also some subtle differences. I mean, that's obviously very different to that. But it's okay. I mean, we'll see when he's out in the UV light for too long. I don't put my stuff in direct sunlight if I can help it. Wow, that peg is really... There's not much wiggle room there. It's not going anywhere once it's in place. And one thing I did notice, all of these cars, you know, the wheels are turning there, but it is totally scraping. Look at the clearance. There's hardly any. So those are going to start scraping if you're running it along the ground. Let's see how long it takes me to get this guy back. Now this is the bit that I can't unfasten without this. Without doing that. I mean, I can wiggle it, but I don't really. Because it has sort of... It's really hard to get your nails down in there, right? Don't like using implements to transform transformers. It feels wrong. I hope I've not messed up with my recording again. The last video I did, because I was doing it like in little bits and stuff. Completely went wrong. Here comes my wife. Where was I up to? Oh, we need your head out, dude. So, bend in the middle. You can do it. I know you can do it. You want to turn, don't you? Pull this down. Well, it's really like... Right, that is how you're supposed to get it. So that it so that there's less give. I was talking about pushing it down because there isn't any now. So that's how you do it properly once it's in place. We've got to wiggle this guy out. Wow. All right. I think it's a good idea to show like the struggles, right? Because nobody knows how to do it right the first time out the gate. And then that in position. Yeah, I was doing something wrong with how I was transforming it there. Because once you get that correct, like his head is in exactly the right position there, there's a way to do it. So the next time I transform it, I'll try and do that better. But yeah, it's lined up correctly. And then it should clip in. Does it clip in behind? What is it that's supposed to... There we go. So I think they kind of clip in there. And his head has to go... So his head has to go first, all the way up. Right? And then that... goes down. Wow, this is fiddly. It's fiddly to get it correct. But once you've got it right, yeah, they've done it. It's just me struggling with it really. And then once you know all those little intricacies, then it does have a nice rigidity to it. If you've done it correctly, I think I'll fold his doors in and then just put his backpack down like that. And that's awesome jazz. Let's have a little bit of a play around with him. I don't do this often enough, really. Come on. Ready for action. That pegs in nicely, actually. That's not as stiff as the hole on his back. What about that one? Is he left-handed or right-handed? Let's see if we can get some interesting poses going on here. All right, let's assume that Prime has... That's the way Prime wants us to go, over there. So we're going to point in the correct direction. Like that. And then like that. Autobots. Over. Yeah, and if you don't get that right, like pegged onto the silver bit, then it's going to be a real pain turning the waist without it. Autobots, roll out. No sir, roll out over there. Oh, he looks really good. All of these studio series, I love having these accurate representations of G1. It's so good. I mean, it's what you had in your mind when you were playing with the originals. But of course, we could never get this accurate back in the day. That, like, when you press, he really has a tendency to go down on his knee, and I don't think there's a way sort of stop him doing that, really. That looks good. What about running? Can we do him running? If he's legging it. Yeah, he does have a little bit of back, sort of, what do you call that, back swivel? Running forward. If we do that with his leg, and then like that, and he's sort of bend. I think that this might be to do with the camera angle. It looks better from my angle than it does on screen there. But yeah, you could sort of do that, right? And then put his Let me take the... Wow, that looks really good. Let me just take the camera off. He looks like he's setting off at a run. I bet we could do, actually we could do that a little bit more extreme here. Hope you don't mind me playing around like this. I think sometimes people watch YouTube videos and they just want the information and they want to go away. I suppose those people have already gone away. So anyone who's interested in just mucking about, thanks for sticking around. Yeah, and you can sort of bend his legs a little bit. How much waist swivel can we get there? It can kind of swivel inwards. Oh yeah, it can swivel outwards. So if we were to do that, it's an even more of a kind of an extreme. Wow, that looks really good. It's a little bit too extreme, perhaps. Running forward. I like it. I'm really happy with that. Generally speaking, I think he's a little bit fiddly, but once you get those little intricacies figured out, he is really great. And it's just the discoloration that's going to worry me, but I will report back. Let me know if you're planning to get hold of Jazz, what you think of this particular interpretation of him. I love the fact I've got Jazz in 2022. That's the great thing about the Studio Series 86. I'm loving it. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I've been Napier, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.